Have you ever wondered how to break into the elite circle of the 1%? Have you ever looked at these people with platforms or high-profile individuals and wondered, how do I reach out and successfully make a connection? Well, at just 21 years old, I've successfully networked with high-profile CEOs, professional athletes, and celebrities. And in this video, I'm breaking down my top 4 networking secrets. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is that you're watching this. My name is Gabe Meyers. I'm 21 years old and I run a creative and lead gen marketing agency in the Chicagoland area. And 4 years ago, I started this business. But when I started, I had 0 skills, 0 connections, 0 experience, 0 nothing. I was 17 years old. So how did I go from 0 skills and 0 experience to having the marketing agency that I have today? And a big part of my journey has been mentorship and getting mentorship from people who are a lot farther down the road than me. So how do you get access to mentors? That is the question I'm going to be tackling today, and more broadly, we'll be diving into some networking tips that I've picked up along the way. I love people, I love making connections, so networking is really a topic that I'm super passionate about. So let's get into it. Quick warning, these may be more simple than you would think, but I think life is more simple than we think. I think in a world where people are looking for secrets and shortcuts, really the true secret / shortcut is just doing the right thing over a long period of time. So without further ado, let's get into number 1. Have integrity and stand for something. One of my mentors, who's a pretty high profile CEO, said, Gabe, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you and what they know you for. What people say about you when you're not around is everything. Hey, yeah, I saw this person out at the restaurant, or I bumped into this person at the store, or check out this project that my buddy did, right? These conversations are happening all the time. And so it's important that the reputation that precedes you is a good one. In order to have a good reputation, you have to have a good character, right? Have integrity, do the right thing while no one's watching and when they're watching. Be nice to people, be kind, be courteous, be respectful. Those are all the little things that are gonna, build up your reputation. And another thing is, when it comes to your field of work, really deliver the highest quality product or service that you can at all times. When people talk about you, you want them to be able to say, yes, this person's on time. This person did a great job with this. This person killed it for me, right? Those are all the words that you want coming out of people's mouth. And so it's important that you take ownership of whatever it is that you're doing. And that brings me into the second part of, point 1, which is stand for something. When it comes to networking, it's about what people know you for. People will accept you for who you tell them you are until you prove them differently. So if I walk into a room and I say, hey, my name is Gabe, I'm a marketing entrepreneur, the set of interactions that are going to follow are going to be very different than if I told them I was a student, right? If I'm a marketer, they say, oh, who do you market for? What are some of your clients, whatnot? If I say, hey, I'm a student, then it's, well, where do you go to school? The reason why that's important is because the way that you position yourself in the conversation is going to determine how they think back to you. Another little secret sauce I'm giving away is it's not just about these one-time interactions, it's about continuing to be in front of these people. So don't just meet somebody, shake their hand, introduce yourself, and then leave. Get some contact information. Follow them on social media. Have them follow you on social media if they're willing to, right? And then, by constantly showing up over a period of months and years, like, you guys are gonna build a stronger relationship than if you just said hi to them once and then hit them up 2 years later. So that's kind of the key ingredient here. Okay, so once you've begun to cultivate your character, and granted, none of us are gonna be perfect, and once you've identified what's important to you, which means that you are able to allow people to know you for something, right? Now it's time to talk to everybody. One of my mentors, a different mentor, a different connection I have, he is, very connected. Probably the most connected or second most connected person I know. He says, Gabe, you should talk to everybody because you never know who knows who. He loves connecting people to people, so that's just kind of a passion that he has. But everywhere he goes, he's in a conversation. And I love that about him because it showed me that, hey, wherever I go, I should be making connections because I don't know, who this person is connected to, and I don't know who this person is, right? But the key part that I want to impart to you is that all these connections at every step of the way should be genuine. If someone who you're trying to network with feels like you're just trying to use them for information or whatnot, they're gonna get turned off pretty quickly. Granted, I don't want to speak for everybody, but people, generally speaking, don't like to feel used. When you are coming with your hands open, trying to grab something from them, it's gonna make them angry. Number 3, make the most of social media. I will die on this hill. I think social media is one of the greatest things to have been created. Granted, do we all spend time on it that we shouldn't? Of course. Granted, are there stuff on there that is not, doesn't lead to human flourishing? Absolutely. So I get that, but when you look at social media as a tool, it can really be helpful, and it has been for me. The person who mentored me for 2 years, who I'm still somewhat involved in his company, I found him on social media. I found him on YouTube, got connected to him through Facebook. I got connected with another guy through Instagram, a couple people through Instagram. It is amazing what social media can do. But I will tell you this, there is a right way to use social media and a wrong way to use social media. So let's run a thought experiment here, right? On one hand, you have a person with no profile picture. You have a person who is private on Instagram, and then you have a person who is public on Instagram, has got a great profile picture, and this individual is showcasing progress in what it is that they're trying to do, right? Whether that's photography, maybe they got pictures on their account, whether that's entrepreneurship, they got some entrepreneurship content, clothing brand, right? Whatever it is. Now let's take a individual that these two people are trying to get in touch with. For the experiment, let's say it's a clothing brand owner who's a little bit further down the line, a little bit more successful. Who do you think that clothing brand owner is more likely to help out? The person with no profile picture and is private and doesn't really show any progress towards their goals, or the person who's kind of hustling, right? Everyone who's built something great has put in a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of passion. So when they see people on their grind, right, especially if they're younger, it's a huge thing. People love to help out younger people who are hustling. They're more likely to help out the person who's on their grind. You can increase your odds of a successful interaction if you have a social media that's developed and if you actually reach out. I don't want to say who it is that I connected to, but there's this billionaire that I was able to connect to through social media just by DMing this person. You don't know whether or not people are going to respond unless you try it. So get out there, start DMing people on social media. And the last thing I'll say about social media is that some of the people who run the biggest companies have very little online presence. I'll put it that way. If you're trying to get in touch with LeBron James and DM LeBron James, he has a massive personal brand. So obviously it's gonna be a little harder to get in touch with LeBron James than it is, for a 100 millionaire who never gets hit up on social media and it has, 150 followers. You have to find the places and spaces where these people are not being connected with and hit up, and that's where you go. If somebody's getting blown up on Instagram, but no one's sliding in their LinkedIn, shoot them a message on LinkedIn versus Instagram, right? It's kind of as simple as that, right? You want to find the places where people aren't being messaged as much and message them. And if you have a brand that's sort of developed online, if you put some content out there that reflects who it is that you are and where it is that you're trying to go, you dramatically increase the odds of success. And this brings me to point number 4, which is find the sharks. Now, if you take a look at the ocean, hopefully you've never seen a shark in person underneath the water, right? But you'll notice that a bunch of little fish are swimming along with the shark. I don't know the science of it all, but I think there's some sort of symbiotic relationship where, the fish rely on the shark and they're not, against each other, so they just kind of move in the same, move together. They move together. So what you'll realize is that the same sort of phenomenon exists in business. Not a one-to-one comparison there, but my point is, when you're networking, you'll come across a lot of individuals who are just kind of one connection that you have, but then you'll come across individuals who are connected to hundreds of people, and it's kind of shocking, right? And it may not be an individual, it may be an organization. Sometimes you can spot them. It's kind of hard to get access to those connections, I'm not gonna lie, but the way that you increase your odds is by step 1, having integrity. Step 2, stand for something. Step 3, talk to everybody. Step 4, use social media. And really step 0 is to have a strong skill set. I don't want to minimize the impact of a strong skill set, because anybody who has a strong skill set is going to be able to network a little bit more easily, because there's some utility to these connections, right? Somebody who is a business owner, right, might need a video guy. Well, if he doesn't have a video guy and some super talented video guy comes along, he's gonna, put that person on to not only his work, but maybe some other people's work. So a skill set is a crucial element in this networking puzzle. But I do want to encourage you, if you're just starting out, right, you don't have to have the skill set yet. You need to demonstrate that you are trying to acquire the skill set. People, and I said this earlier in the video, people who have built something have really spent a lot of time doing it. So if they look at somebody who maybe isn't there yet, but is trying and is grinding and is truly doing it in like a genuine manner, then they're more willing to help put that person onto opportunities, even if they're not the best opportunities yet, they're opportunities where you can grow. So, the sharks are difficult to network with, but it is definitely something that you have to take into consideration. But I will say this, you definitely get connected to the quote unquote sharks when you've done the first, 3 steps plus, acquiring a skill set. And the last thing I'll say, maybe consider this tip 5 or a bonus tip, is you have to love it. You don't have to love it, but I think the people who love networking, who genuinely love talking to people, are ultimately going to be more successful in, meeting people. I think that's just the way it is. I love talking to people, like going out and meeting new people, just saying hi, smiling at them, like that is just something that I love to do. And so I definitely think that when you're out there trying to meet people, like try to love it. And if you don't love it, that's okay. But I think the people who genuinely love it are gonna be more successful, right? We could debate what success means, but and I think that's true for everything. If you're a basketball player and you love basketball, you're probably going to be better than the person who doesn't love basketball, right? Because you're going to be able to spend more time doing it. You're going to research it a little bit more, whatever, right? You get the point. So that is what I have to say about networking. If you guys have any questions, drop a comment. And if you have a tip that you want to add, let's help everybody out. I want to see everybody who's watching this video succeed. So, let's bring up everybody else around us. I just think that's the right way to do it. So drop a subscribe, drop a comment, drop a like, share this video if you found it helpful, and I will see you on the next one.